Well, May 5th, 2016 will always be in my memory. Took a late afternoon motorcycle ride. I decided to get on the bike and blow off some steam, and got on my bike and took off and went for a nice ride. It was cooler out, music in my helmet, Volbeat as always, and I decided to take a back road at the last minute. Came down Young's Ditch and was only on for a few minutes, and a car turned in front of me and we met.
Well, my first thought was that he was crazy because it was cold. But it was like a normal night. He was going to go out for a short little ride and get his motorcycle time in. I really didn't have any worries or anything.
A conversation with the ambulance driver, with the ambulance attendants in the back, when they asked me, "What car does your wife drive?" Because I was worried about Ann being able to find me in the hospital when I got there. And he said, "What kind of car does she drive?" And I said, "A red Terrain." And he said, "Is she blonde?" And I said, "Yes, she is." And he said, "Does she wear big sunglasses?" And I said, "Yes, she does." He said, "There's a woman behind us waving her hands and driving, and she fits that description." And I said, "That's my wife." So the outlook to me was, I guess it didn't sink in until I was transferred to Rivers Bend, where I spent the next 3 months confined to a bed in a room. When I arrived in Rivers Bend, my main thing was I'm just going to stay in this room in my bed and not do anything until I'm able to walk and recover. My feelings when I was in there, there was never anger, there was never much discouragement. It was more of the unknown. There was a little bit of fear of what now? What about the bills? What about my job that I just started? What about Ann? You know, all these things are now falling on her. And I didn't know if I would ever walk again, or I wasn't sure of what the outcome was, but I was trusting God.
I think I felt like, oh crap, this is a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. But I really, just because he was alive and he was talking to me, I just knew that God was gonna carry us through no matter what, and he would be there and take care of us no matter what we had to go through. You know, whether we had bad times, good times, no money, lots of money, you know, whatever it was, he was going to give us the strength that we needed to go through. And it was just really weird for me to have that much peace. It was always Troy that I looked to get that peace from, you know, to remind me of God's promises. And I guess all those times of reminding just were there when I needed him the most.
The idea for Broken and Teachable came as therapy for me. It started out with just me emptying my thoughts once I was released and home. I just wanted to dump my thoughts onto paper and in some ways find healing in that. But I quickly discovered that it was more than that. As I wrote and seen what was happening and followed God's leading, it became clear that it was his story. And I was just the person he chose to be in this story. My hope for this book, Broken and Teachable, is that someone comes to Christ. Someone that's at the end of the rope and reads this realizes that there are people that are struggling in life, that are facing battles we don't know of. God gives each of us a pair of shoes to walk in. And my hope is that through this book, they're going to find hope. And they're going to find a reason to continue, a reason to rise above it. And of course, the hope in my prayers that they find Christ.